I have with me the parliamentary secretary to the Minister of National Revenue, Peter Fragiskatos. Given that we speak for the Portuguese Canadian community, my first question, how can the federal government help the Portuguese Canadian community with the new tax benefits in education, health, etc.?
Well, first of all, hola a todos. Obrigado, Nuno, for the invitation. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to engage the Portuguese community here in Canada. And it is tax filing season, which has begun. Certainly the deadline for individuals to file is May 1st this year, because April 30th, the usual deadline, is on Sunday. But filing is absolutely essential. Even if people haven't recorded income in the previous year, they should still file, because it does allow access to vital benefits. Certainly your viewers will know very well the importance of the Canada Child Benefit. They will know the importance of the Canada Workers Benefit. There's now the Canada Dental Benefit that is available to help individuals and families of a low income. So right now it's focused on kids 12 and under, belonging to families where there is, as I say, a lower income situation in place. But that program will be expanded, and access to it requires filing one's taxes. So all of these things add up in tremendous ways. There's also the one-time top-up to what's called the Canada Housing Benefit, a one-time top-up for rent in the amount of $500. Again, for individuals in a low-income situation that are having a particularly difficult time in this period of inflation. But the government is going to be there. It's going to be there for low-income Canadians, for middle-income Canadians, for all Canadians, as it was during the pandemic. That's a solemn responsibility that we take very seriously. And of course, taxation is what helps to underpin the entire social safety net. So that's why it's important also, of course, for people to file.
That is, so Mr. Peter Fragiskatos, do these benefits depends a lot on where the person lives in Canada? Let's imagine a person lives in British Columbia, is entitled to the same benefits as a person in Ontario, for instance?
Well, take the most important benefit, I think, for Canadian families, the Canada Child Benefit. That applies to all Canadians. Now, the amount will differ because it's what's called means tested, which is, I suppose, a fancy way of saying that it depends on your income. That's why, and it's something that the government changed when it came into office in 2015. The previous government, unfortunately, was assigning that benefit support to any and everyone, which it sounds, on the face of it, sounds like a good thing. But with great respect to those that are doing extremely well, those in the millionaire category, for example, they don't really need something like the Canada Child Benefit. It's middle income and lower income families that need that, and the amount that's given will depend, as I said, on the income that is earned. 9 out of 10 Canadian families are seeing more as a result. We've lifted hundreds of thousands out of poverty, including child poverty, as a result. And it's something that all Canadians have access to if they fall within the certain income bracket that allows for eligibility. There are other tax supports that do depend on geography. For example, any member of your community who's living in Northern Canada, for example, will be able to deduct travel expenses from their return. Traveling in the North is very, very expensive, so a deduction is possible. And in fact, there's a new table that has been introduced by the Canada Revenue Agency where individuals can go online and find out exactly how much they can claim. So that's an option, but again, only really applicable to those living in northern and remote communities as well.
Very well. The Portuguese Canadian lives majority in Toronto, so
Yes.
it's okay. It's okay.
I have been to Yellowknife, where there are members of the Portuguese community too. Admittedly, yes, in small numbers, and I know just from my own situation, being a member of Parliament in London, that Southern Ontario is certainly a mecca for the wonderful Portuguese community, and your community continues to contribute in great ways.
And what's your advice for this Portuguese Canadian who lives in Yellowknife?
Well, when it comes to the deduction that I talked about, they can simply go online and find out about that travel deduction. Again, it applies to northern communities. But whether it's someone living in the northern part of the country or someone living wherever they might be living, whether they're in Vancouver or Toronto or Montreal or one of the smaller towns in between, this government is going to continue to be there for Canadians in what remains a difficult time. Things are expensive. We are still coming out of the pandemic. The healthcare situation facing the country is also in a difficult situation. And that's why we've worked with provinces and territories to finalize an important agreement that will allow for over $40 billion to flow to provinces and, again, territories to help in their hospitals, for example, to help with mental health, to help make sure that all Canadians have access to a family doctor. And there's more examples. We will continue to be there for people. So maybe it's not advice per se, but my point is that it's been a hard time these past few years, and the government will continue to be there in now and into the future.
Very well. Let's talk about, for my last question, is about the newcomers. Let's imagine we have a Portuguese newcomer in Canada who starts working in the country. What should the citizen do immediately in order to have tax benefits?
Well, they need to file, certainly, and they can do so with the assistance of a very important program, and that is the Community Volunteer Income Tax Program, or CVITP for short. They can find out more information about the CVITP program online on the website of the Canada Revenue Agency, or the CRA. There are 3,400 plus organizations, that's just last year. We'll see how many participate this year, that run, in addition to all the other very important activities they do in communities, free income tax clinics for people to file taxes. It does apply to low-income individuals. That's how one is eligible. So it's not eligible for, it's not open to all Canadians, but those who are coming as newcomers often are earning a lower income. So my expectation is that many, if not most, would in fact be eligible for a program like that. Again, it's free. It allows for individuals to file their taxes so that they can get access to the vital benefits and credits that really are transformative, like the Canada Child Benefit, like the Canada Workers Benefit, the Canada Dental Benefit, all of the benefits that we've talked about here. And there's many more. There's certainly many more benefits that one can get access to that make a real difference in people's lives. As I said, there's many organizations throughout communities, certainly in the major cities where newcomers often settle. They will have access to those organizations and will be able to get their support. Just last year, over 650,000 Canadians were able to get the support of a CVITP. Again, if people want to know where the nearest clinic is in their community, to the closest to their home, they can go on the website of the CRA. They can simply type in Community Volunteer Income Tax Program, or CVITP, and they'll find out that information there.